according to Britannica, is prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination based on predetermined notions of one's sex or gender. The idea that women are weak, inferior, incapable, and helpless are rooted so deep into our modern society and everyday life that has become normalized and unacknowledged, making it more harmful than ever. Despite our vast advancements, the women's rights movement is far from over. Remaining a prominent issue, we as a society need to stand up against institutionalized sexism and break down the stereotypes and biases it instills within the political arena, corporate and occupational world, as well as the education system. One of the most well-documented forms of institutionalized sexism is the concept of the glass ceiling, an unseen barrier that hinders the advancement of women in her respective profession. But before shattering any glass ceilings, we must fix the broken windows, focusing on daily problems that perpetuates our sexist culture. Currently in our government, women make up only 19% of Congress, representing nearly 51% of America's population, according to the US Census Bureau. Without a mixed-gendered administration, concerns of women are more likely to be disproportionately dismissed, ignored, and rejected as decisions on female necessities like abortion or birth control are made by an all-white male panel. This lack of representation attributes to the problem as it limits women's voice in political and legal situations. Not only so, but it prohibits women's power in making decisions that we deem beneficial for us. Increasing political representation in legislatures begin with disputing invalid sexist arguments made towards and about women in power. It begins by educating the ignorant on the fact that a woman's menstrual cycle has no correlation to her capabilities. It begins by encouraging more women to exercise their political voice through voting, petitions, reforms, and protests. In doing so, we work to ensure women fair access to political spheres as voters, candidates, elected officials, and civil service members. The same concept also applies within the corporate world. A research conducted by CEB, a global technology company, shows that in the beginning, women make up 51% of the non-management workforce, but just a mere 21% reach top executive level. The cause, however, is more than just a single barrier as the glass ceiling metaphor suggests. Rather, they are cumulative misconceptions and missed opportunities that add up, like assuming a woman's unavailability for long-term role due to family responsibilities or missing promotion periods because of maternity leave. These are examples of institutionalized sexism that women endure on a daily basis that go unrecognized, thus discouraging them from entering the corporate field. Companies need to do a better job at engaging and understanding their female employees, including their aspirations, goals, and setbacks, to create a more desirable environment for women to excel in. To attack sexism in schools, we must remove the practice of assigning a gender to occupation, as this habit is prohibiting and deterring young girls from reaching their full potential. In 2012, independent newspaper reported that 57% of parents and teachers admitted to having made subconscious stereotypes about girls and boys in relation to sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects, explaining why women make up only 25% of the STEM workforce in the United States. The stereotyping that students are exposed to discourage potential interests in certain fields. At a young age, children need that encouragement and guidance from the adults around them. Therefore, it is the parents' and teachers' responsibilities to challenge perception and the traditional stereotypes of different careers. Just because what career is predominantly male or female does not mean it is subjected to that gender. They must spark and retain a child's interest in a subject, hobby, or occupation. They must inspire and encourage both young women and young men to pursue those interests. A few words of encouragement can lead to greater gender equality in future generations. The fight against sexism is a daunting task. But it is not a task that one has to face alone. For nearly 130 years, the AAUW have worked to empower women of all ages nationwide through advocating for policies to increase equity for girls and women, supporting legal cases of sex discrimination in the workplace and higher education, and even working to level the STEM field for young girls. Continuing on this path of progression, AAUW, along with the society and every individual person in here, should target an audience of young boys and men to educate them on the problems that women face on a daily basis. In doing so, hopefully we can close the gap of misunderstandings and work together to fight against sexism and all the biases and stereotypes that come along with it. Thank you.